A very good evening to all of you. Thank you for being here with us throughout. I mean, we started at morning 9:30, and I can still see everyone here. After this, we'll be following up with the 30 Under 30 Awards. Dr. Mukesh Batra, thank you so much for staying back to pass on that energy in the room to me as well. Thank you, Uday, for being there. Of course, everyone else. I don't think I really need to introduce Abhishek for that matter. The very, very famous characters he has played in the films, you all are aware of. I think I have watched those movies, Abhishek, for a reason that those actings were very effortless. I never felt that it has to be like a pushed on or a way too much of a thing. It was so simply done, but with so much of caliber. Thank you for bringing that on screen.
Thank you so much, and very good evening to all of you. I think this is the first time I'm attending a festival on well-being. I think acting came easily when I was a child, because I was the only child, so I didn't have siblings, and my dad was into transferable jobs. He was a government servant. He served CISF and NSG. I kept traveling all around. Didn't have many friends because every time I used to go somewhere, those छूट जाते थे, उनका transfer हो जाता था या हमारा हो जाता था. So I've lived almost like a very lonely childhood life, and that probably made me imagine about people. I don't know why. Since childhood, I've loved people. I love interacting with people. I can just pick up conversation with any stranger and have probably very personal, deep conversations. I'm not very shy of having personal, deep conversations with people like my friends or people usually that. So I think that kind of made me an actor, because I just like to converse and share some moments with them, and that's what I do with my characters when I'm acting.
So that's the best thing to say. Reason being that makes you a boy next door who is easily approachable, easy to be there with, and have a striking conversation right away. Am I right?
Yes, that's me in normal life.
Great. So Abhishek, you are on BW Festival of Wellbeing, where we are trying to highlight all aspects related to well-being. As an actor, you have multiple things to play in life. A normal human being, a human being who is always under the radar of news, of reporters, of television channels. And then again, you also have to play a character on the movie sets. How do you feel about balancing yourself when it comes to your work, life, and your well-being balance? How do you do that? Because a life of an actor is absolutely tough.
Yeah, you just scared me with all those adjectives, because I think I never thought of it like that, kitna sab kuch hota hai, but because for an actor, I think it's a dream to just act. I don't know, I can't explain this. It's very personal, and it's very I think only actors relate to this, that when we read a story, we want to just go out and perform. And that's the main focus, at least for me. I don't know about others, but that's how I think I started as an actor. So yeah, balance mushkil hai. I mean, it's I think any job you do, it's difficult. You have to there are some advantages and disadvantages. You have so much of limelight, but then you have so much of limelight, because you can't. Unlike my wife will always get angry if people are coming up to me and talking, because for her it's a personal moment. So to handle a relationship like that, to handle for me it's all the close relationships. जो मेरे आसपास के हैं, जो दूर से उतना ज़्यादा मुझे फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन आसपास के लोगों से, मेरे परिवार से मुझे फ़र्क पड़ता है. मेरे माँ बाप से ना मिलने का एक रिग्रेट रहता है हमेशा, that I'm not able to spend a lot of time with them, which I think is very normal for anybody who is doing their jobs. I mean, if they're staying in the same city or whatever business you are doing, I think you have more time to spend time with your family. In our industry, that's rare, and all of us, I think, are facing that. Not only actors, right from the guys who are, assisting in direction, or right from the guys who are fixing lights on set, or serving us food. I think everybody is really working hard, and I think though it seems like a very glamorous industry, but actually it's a labor job. So you see, actors are basically laborers in good-looking clothes. So that's how I see an actor's life. I mean, it's very very tough. You have to like give your 200% even when you are not feeling even 50% of your own self.
So I think that's a new hashtag which I have got. Hashtag actors who are labels in good clothes. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So moving on to a little angle, different angle. If I say that the film industry, as we say, it's glamour, it's all glamour, and there's so many things happening. How safe it is to speak up your mind in this kind of an industry? Because I'm sure all of you who are playing multiple characters in life on screen have so much of stress, so much of work-life balance situations. So how convenient it is to speak about it? Because a lot of actors don't really speak about their well-being.
Probably because it's going to become a big deal with the media, and if you start talking personally to everyone, I don't think that's a safe space to be in. So people, I think that's why they tend to keep it under wraps. Or yeah, I mean, I don't know. See, when you keep talking about the stress levels, I also feel that it's not really that stressful, because I mean, it's like a sport, right? Like you go out and you play that sport. So when you're playing the sport, you are not thinking about anything. So when you're actually on set, many actors will say that life में चाहे कितनी ही प्रॉब्लम हो, लेकिन जैसे हम सेट पे आते हैं, कैमरा ऑन होता है, हमारा सारा स्ट्रेस, हमारा सारा प्रॉब्लम्स, जो भी लाइफ की यूजुअल इश्यूज हैं, उससे हम बाहर निकल आते हैं. एंड those 12 hours when we are on set, I think we are the happiest.
Wonderful to know that. So, Abhishek, if I may ask you, how important discipline in life is?
I'm trying to be disciplined in my life, so that's I think I feel discipline is everything. I've seen my dad every day, like waking up at the same time, shaving his beard, and like wearing his crisp shirt and going to office, wearing his uniform, which is always ironed. Some kind of, I don't know. I always saw that, and I got very scared of discipline, because for me it was also like, okay, this is repetition. It's like you have to do it every day. So, and I think that's what mostly, I think that's the scary part about discipline, that you have to actually be committed to it. Yes. So that commitment comes very rarely, but I feel the only way to achieve success is through commitment towards discipline. Because I think that's where most of us lack.
Absolutely. So discipline towards your well-being, discipline towards your work, discipline towards your entire day routine for that matter.
Yeah, just basic simple things. I think if you're just disciplined with that, like food and like just normal things.
Okay. So moving on to my next question for you. Often work and well-being are juxtaposed, but people say that work is therapeutic as well, because what you are working in, you enjoy, then only you can bring out the productive into it. What is your comment on that?
Yes, totally. As I said, like, I mean, for me, whenever I'm anxious or like stressed, I think I start rehearsing a scene, or probably thinking about my character more deeply, because that helps me come out of the situation which I'm facing in real life. So I have a real life. So that saves me from my real life issues, and for me, like, I think during COVID, those 2 months were the most difficult months, the first March and April, because for an actor who is out there always, and like, we always are outdoors, suddenly we have been told to stay indoors. So that was quite a challenge. But I took cue from my character in Patal Lok, which was not yet released. It was actually, I think Patal Lok released in May, and I'm talking about March and April, the first 2 months. So I was taking cue from my character, that how he must have been like in the jail, and how do people survive in jail and things like that. I mean, I don't want to think about jail, but then there are people actually who are locked down. There are animals who are locked down, and they're living their entire life there. And probably I told myself that I'm privileged. So I took cue from my work and convinced myself that I'm in a better space than many. So yeah, I mean, these kind of things, and plus, I think, पता नहीं, मतलब ये फिलॉसफी नहीं है, लेकिन कभी कभार मुझे लगता है कि आप अंदर आर्ट होने के लिए आपका कुछ एक स्पिरिचुअल कनेक्शन होना चाहिए उस आर्ट के साथ. अगर वो नहीं है तो फिर वो फिर दिखावे का आर्ट है. तो अगर आप उसमें जेन्युइनली बिलीव करते हैं, जैसे मैं करता हूँ, और मैं इफ आई एम प्लेइंग एनी कैरेक्टर, आई ट्राई टू रिलेट इट विद other human beings who are going through that issue. So any of my characters which you see, I always think and empathize about the other guys who must be going through that situation, and then bring it like make it my own. So it's always a more broader purpose than just to play that part, you know, to actually feel the pain, to actually live the life which my character is living, and so are other people on this planet.
So, as you just touched the point of spirituality, how important is the role of spirituality in maintaining your well being? How do you follow it? How do you link spirituality in your life to your well being?
For me, it's like, see, for me, it's a way of life, I think. And I don't know whether I'm spiritual or not, but I'm very sure that I always keep talking to universe. And it talks back to me through the gifts it gives me. So I definitely know that there is some kind of magic happening around, and I'm just a part of the audience who is, watching this magic happen in front of me. So yeah, it's a day to day. It's not about just going to the mountains and being in the nature. It's not about going to a temple and seeking blessings or going to any ashram. It's about living your life day to day. With that thought process, with that belief, with that hope that someone is taking care of us, and also that everybody talks about manifestation, right? And that's a very strong word. And for me, I think whatever I have done in my life is through pure, sheer manifestation. And even now, wherever I want to reach, I already see it in my head, and I'm just trying to be fit and fine, health-wise, mind-wise, to achieve that.
So, as you said about being fit health wise and mentally also prepared for it. So, if I may ask you, what is your idea of well being? If you say that, what is your fitness and diet mantra which you follow?
The fitness mantra is very recent, so I've been following animal flow. That's one kind of my trainer is very good at. So it involves a lot of stretching and your body movements, and I just feel that more than weights and picking the the iron, I think I like to play with my body itself. I want to understand my body better. I want to understand how does my body react to different exercises, and I think everybody's body is different. So once you practice different various forms of fitness, you will realize that okay, this particular fitness regime is more appropriate for my body or my well-being, because sometimes you get also tired of it. So I don't want myself to get tired of fitness. So I want to make it again like a practice in my day-to-day life. Food-wise, I think I really don't like the whole concept of dieting. So I eat whatever is made at home and made with love. I think it will keep you fit if you eat food made by people who love you.
I think that's a sheer Bengali talking.
Yes,
inside.
totally.
So, Bengali to a Bengali. So, I understand the food connect he's really talking about.
I think good food is definitely the biggest mantra for well-being, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's always said कि प्लेट पे जो आपके रखा है, पहले आप अपने आँखों से उसे खाते हैं, क्योंकि वो देखने में सुंदर होता है. Then it goes into your body. Totally. So, the way you feel about your food, it impacts on you.
Totally.
Great. So, Abhishek, this entire industry, the film industry, is very hectic. Erratic work hours, tough roles, climate conditions which are very, very drastic. So, what are the stress points, if you would like to highlight, apart from the three I did?
Apart from the?
Apart from the three I just did.
I mean, I see stress points. I don't know how to. What am I stressed about on set? Nothing. I think I'm always... See, that's what I'm saying, that I always wanted to be here. So when you're doing something, when you're working on your passion, when it becomes your passion project, then you're not really thinking of it as work stress. So the only stress probably is always... See, I think the biggest fear of an actor is getting rejected. And that rejection can come from, initially, from casting directors who are giving you the opportunity. Then later it can come from directors, then it can come from producers who don't want to work with you. A director doesn't think that you're suitable for this part. Rejection is the most prevalent part in our business. Everybody's getting rejected. They're getting rejected more than they're getting selected. So to handle that, and to keep moving forward with those many rejections in front of you. I think that is the most stressful part. And most people who come to Bombay in this industry, I think 90% वो rejection से डर जाते हैं. And उनका confidence नीचे आता है. Like my confidence was really low because I was not cracking any auditions and I was not getting any good role in any of the films. And there was a point when I thought that probably I don't know how to act, or probably I'm not made for the cut, and probably I'm not trained enough. And I thought of quitting acting. But destiny plays its, games, and I somehow got back to acting, and I got the confidence, and that kept moving forward. But having said that, those initial, those few years, they were hectic. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to console yourself. You don't know how to tell yourself. Basically, you don't know how to build the belief, the aggressive belief that you can do it. That was the most tough part.
So, as you said, one of the stress points in the industry is the casting director roles. You are now a casting director.
Yes, I have a company called Casting Bay, which casts for film.
Absolutely. So, you've been through that phase of facing rejections for roles at certain point of time.
Yeah, and at the same time, I was running my own casting company.
So for example...
I was selecting people and I was getting rejected in my own auditions. So, very weird, yeah.
So, what is the advice you would like to give to those people who are hungry to be a part of this creative field because they are talented? Of course, they are talented. So, being a casting director, sitting on that other side of the table now, rejecting someone, how do you want to guide them that why is that rejection? Because a rejection, as you said, is a stress point, is equally an impact on the mental well-being. So, if you would like to advise someone that, for example, if someone is rejected from your company for that matter, how would you like to handle that? How would you like to convey it? Because words matter. The way you convey matters.
Rejections are I think they're the primary byproduct of casting. So you're rejecting more people than accepting them, or you're rejecting more people than selecting them. So I think for actors, it is just an exercise. It's an exercise to just go out there, try your best, perform your best. And there is a magical line which my senior Gautam Kishan Chandani, who is a casting director, he told me that जिसका लिखा होता है उसी को मिलता है. So no matter how good or bad you are, but if you really you're at the right place at the right time and your audition is maybe कभी-कभार होता है कि audition आपका 19 हो, 20 ना हो, और लेकिन डायरेक्टर को आप बस चाहिए and the better actor शायद नहीं चाहिए. Now you can't explain these things. Casting is very sometimes you don't know why some actor is clicking and the other actor is not clicking. It's you can act well, but probably you are not the character. So there are too many factors for you to actually get that role. So my advice is to just forget after giving an audition. It's like a performance stage where you go, where you perform, and you forget about it. And you perform for those many audience. जो भी हैं रूम में, अगर 2 हैं 3 लोग हैं, आप कलाकार हो, आप उनके लिए परफॉर्म करो, आप भूल जाओ. जब हम परफॉर्म करने के बाद वी आर नॉट वेटिंग फॉर द रिजल्ट कि अच्छा ऑडियंस हमें अभी एक्सेप्ट करेगी कि नहीं करेगी. आप परफॉर्म करते हो, मजे लेते हो, बाद में देखते हो क्या होता है.
That's a wonderful line, that do your best and then forget about it. Let the destiny, the universe work it back for you, make it work for you. Don't maybe try and get hold on to it. Let it go if it has to go. If it's yours, it'll definitely come back to you.
And keep training yourself. So
Absolutely.
Be prepared for that opportunity. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपको select हो गया and then.
That's how probably you develop a discipline also in your career.
Yes.
And I think you were destined to play Jana. I mean, can we have a round of applause for the character Jana he played?
Thank you.
It's unforgettable, completely.
By the way, Devika is a casting director. जो 300 लोग well-being for 30 under 30 के लिए apply करते हैं, 30 को select करती है ये. तो ये भी casting director है.
So you know what the stress levels are like.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
And I feel bad that because it's a very thin line between the ones that we select and somebody on that day presents better and so on. But I must say, I keep saying rejection is a redirection.
Yes.
No means new opportunity, next opportunity. And trust me, I've faced fair bit of rejections in my life, but you know, I become more determined when I get rejected. These days I don't get that rejected or dejected. But I want to ask you, and it's a very, please answer it honestly. Because I'm not saying you'll answer it dishonestly, but you may choose not to answer it. We lost a very young actor 2 years back to well-being, mental issues. That's what my understanding is. I don't have to take the name, you understand.
No, please.
So, and I met somebody who makes movies. She's like an older sister. She and her brother run a movie company, so you now know which movie company I'm talking of. And they said, Anurag, ये सबसे ज़्यादा काउंसलिंग की मीडिया में ज़रूरत है, ये फिल्मों में ज़रूरत है यंग एक्टर्स को. I was with another, your friend, she runs the Mumbai's #1 PR agency for stars. She's very close friends with the guy who's in heaven. I have now given you quizzes too close. तो क्या, क्योंकि रिजेक्शन होता है, कंपैरिजन होता है, लाइफस्टाइल अच्छा नहीं होता, लेट नाइट्स, कॉफी, ड्रग्स, एक रिलेशनशिप्स मल्टीपल होती है, मतलब
कॉफी
बहुत
के बाद सीधा ड्रग्स.
नहीं होता है. सब मैंने तो कभी पी, कॉफ़ी पी है मैंने, आज भी वो नहीं पी है. बट ओके, लेट्स मी नॉट से दैट बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू जर्नलाइज एंड फ्रेम एनी. बट आई थिंक इट्स वेरी, देयर इज टू मच एक्सपेक्टेशंस ऑफ वन सेल्फ. सो व्हाट इज द रोल यू कैन प्ले और वी कैन प्ले एज BW Wellbeing in making sure that people who are under pressure talk, they seek guidance? Is there a role BW Wellbeing World can play, or there's no role that we can play?
बहुत टाइम लगेगा आई थिंक. आई मीन टू जस्ट मेक एन एंटायर जनरेशन थिंक डिफरेंटली इज वॉट आई फील. आई मीन क्योंकि ये इतना ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम क्या है एक्टिंग के साथ कि फेम जुड़ा हुआ है. एंड फेम वॉट इट डज इज दैट इट मेक्स यू लिटिल नर्वस आफ्टर अ पॉइंट. आई मीन जो लोग हैंडल कर लेते हैं ग्रेट, आई मीन दे कैन हैंडल इट. But then there are people who will get nervous, who will be always feeling that, okay, they've been like stalked or looked at, or like, you can't have a dinner with your family, friends anywhere in cities when you become that big. I think what happens also with actors is that success makes them lonely. It is more lonely at the top. बहुत लोगों ने बोला है, वो बात सच है. Like you start realizing that probably you are not changing, but people around you, they start changing. They are not talking to you the way they used to. They are not as conveniently, chilling with you the way they used to. So there are so many things which you see around you after becoming famous or an actor, or as you said, social media fame. People when they get it, I think they become more disconnected with the real connections, and that makes it worse for actors at the top. You don't really have any friends, you don't know who to trust, you don't know who to talk to. Everybody's trying to make advantage of you because you
jealousy, lots of jealousy, envy,
bilkul. So there's a lot of negativity there also,
and it's there in every people profession. Uday and me are in the media industry. मेरे को तो कोई एडिटर मिलता नहीं है दूसरे एडिटर के बारे में अच्छा बोले, कम ही मिलते हैं. 0 तो नहीं है, और सिंगल डिजिट में है.
हाँ, and see, good jealousies, I mean jealousy I think वो बहुत normal है. मुझे पता नहीं कि कितने लोग ये मानेंगे, लेकिन jealousy तो I think normal है ना. Like होता ही है. अगर किसी को आप देखते हो, like somebody who is a competitor doing something which you wanted to do, you will feel jealous. But I feel what happens after that makes you. Like if you keep brewing that jealousy and say, okay, I'm not the lucky one, he's the lucky one, or she's the lucky one, then you'll always keep feeling bad about it. But if you see that jealousy and okay, give the thumbs up to the person who has made it, and then get inspired by your own competition. Yes. So, I mean, there are ways to probably fight that and make even jealousy a positive thing.
It's basically the way you would take it. Jealousy is just a word and a feeling. It's up to you if you want to manifest it in positive sense or just a negative one.
Like, I've always learned from my rivals. When they do something good, I'm like, okay, why? And if that person has done that, I'm going to do.
It's called inspiration, and we all compete. So we see something good, we learn. But also I want to ask you grew up in Kharagpur, right?
Yes, sir.
फिर आप दिल्ली में पढ़े,
जी,
दिल्ली में काम शुरू किया, फिर बॉम्बे आए,
फिर मैं चेन्नई गया.
हाँ, चेन्नई भी गए बीच में. मैं आपका पढ़ रहा था कल. तो ये दिल्ली वालों के बारे में लोग स्टीरियोटाइप क्यों करते हैं, मुझे ये बताओ.
ये बॉम्बे वाले करते हैं सर.
क्यों करते हैं यार, इनको समझाओ थोड़ा.
सर वही मुझे भी समझ में नहीं आया आज तक. ये बॉम्बे दिल्ली के बीच में बहुत बड़ी राइवलरी है. आई थिंक दिल्ली वाले थोड़े से ज़्यादा लाउड है और बॉम्बे वाले थोड़े से ज़्यादा शांत हैं. तो ये बहुत बड़ा फ़र्क है. आपको सड़क पे दिख जाएगा जो फ़र्क बेसिक सड़क है वो दिल्ली और बॉम्बे के सड़कों में दिख जाएगा.
मतलब दिल्ली में हर आदमी प्रधानमंत्री को जानता है. प्रधानमंत्री नहीं जानते उनको, लेकिन वो जानते हैं.
दिल्ली में सबके पापा कुछ ना कुछ होते हैं. पापा नहीं तो ताया, चाचा.
और बॉम्बे में you and me are still fanning these.
Bombay is quite humble. Like I have to say, like Bombay, the city is quite humble. Like Delhi is not.
आप दिल्ली आओ, मैं फिर बताता हूँ आपको.
So as we see, the screen says time's up. But before that, two little things.
Yes.
Shed some light on Rana Naidoo on Netflix. Everyone wants to know.
Okay. Have you guys seen Rana Naidoo? How many of you have seen it? Okay. And you guys like it? Okay, great. There are many people who have objections to it also. No, I think it's a great show. It talks about a very important subject, child abuse and men dealing with it. You know, I think men do not talk about these things. And the character, I mean, if you've seen the show and if you have not seen the show, you will understand that even from the protagonist to my character, we all are dealing with something very, very dark in our past. I think ऐसे shows बनने चाहिए so that, you know, the vulnerability of men can also be, you know, projected on our screens, which जो थोड़ा कम होता है. I think we always show men as like the macho guys, the guys who can take care of, you know, their girls and like take care of gangs and everything. But उतना machoism नहीं है. अगर आप बाहर आसपास देखोगे, लड़के इतने भी macho नहीं है जितना हम देखते हैं. दिल्ली में भी नहीं है सर. दिल्ली में भी इतने macho लोग, वहाँ बहुत इमोशनल.
सर मैं वैसे बॉम्बे 15 दिन लगाता हूँ, दिल्ली में 10 और 5 दिन. तो मैं बॉम्बे वाला ज़्यादा हूँ पिछले 22 साल से. ओके, तो मेरे को अगर कोई दिल्ली बॉम्बे ज़्यादा करता है और मैं आर्ग्यू, तो उसको बोलता हूँ मैं बॉम्बे में जा रहा हूँ.
मैं अभी तक रिलेट ही नहीं कर पाया. मुझे समझ नहीं मैं कहाँ से हूँ. इतने जगह रह चुका हूँ, मुझे अभी तक समझ नहीं आ रहा है. मैं जहाँ जाता हूँ वहाँ का बन जाता हूँ.
अच्छी बात है.
So before we close this, you spoke about manifestation. You came with a dream of becoming Amitabh Bachchan, your inspiration. Now you are actually on a movie with him. How does it feel? The manifestation power.
Yeah, today is the day when it actually got announced. I mean, it was so for the first time and I've been saying this to my friends that I really want to work with him one time, you know, like I don't know how, like I was okay with doing even one scene with him. And I actually did a film called Bombay Talkies. Anurag Kashyap had directed that, and in his short film I did one scene for 30 seconds just to be in a movie where Amitabh Bachchan is also featured. So that I can tell my grandkids कि बेटा मैं बच्चन के साथ भी काम किया हुआ है. But वो मौका आया नहीं. मतलब I mean it was like what 6-7 years back, and then my acting career also took off. So I don't know. I was always looking for an opportunity wherever I can. और इतना ज़्यादा शायद सोचा उस बारे में और बचपन से सोचता आया हूँ उनके बारे में कि मतलब फाइनली दिस ईयर आई एम लाइक यू नो वर्किंग विथ हिम एंड it's actually magic. Like if I tell my younger self that, you know, one day you're going to be with him and it's going to get an announcement, proper announcement that you are in the film with him, I think वो बच्चा जो है वो हंसता मेरे पे. So I think because, you know, yeah, मेरे पापा, in fact my dad he has commented on my post today that तुमने मुझे गलत साबित कर दिया, you proved me wrong. Because he always, when I used to, you know, talk about acting, and he was completely anti-acting, Bengali father, and like full disciplined, as I said. तो वो हमेशा मुझे बोलते थे कि तू क्या ये एक्टिंग करेगा, तू अमिताभ बच्चन थोड़ी बनेगा तू लाइक एक्टिंग करके, यू नो, क्या एज इफ यू आर गोइंग टू यू नो बी अलोंगसाइड हिम, तो विनोद खन्ना बनेगा, यू नो, लाइक दैट्स हाउ he was from the 70s 80s, so he used to talk like that. And I used to always tell myself that yes, you know, not to him probably because I didn't want to back answer him, but I used to always tell myself that yes, I am exactly what you're saying, wo karunga main. So today, I don't know, he remembered it probably because I had forgotten, but he commented. So I think this is what I feel manifestation, this is how it works. And whatever you really need, and if you're really working towards it with purity in your heart and empathy for others, I think you will achieve it.
Wonderful. Purity in your heart and empathy for others in your heart. You will achieve what you're manifesting. The house is open for questions from audience. Anyone would like to ask any question? Any questions for Abhishek?
अभिषेक जी पहले पूछे, मैं तो पूछ लिया, कोई नहीं पूछ रहा था इसलिए मैं पूछ रहा था. Somebody's raised their hand.
I think Uday would like
Rajiv
to
Bajaj.
ask a question.
Mr. Rajiv Bajaj is of Bajaj Finances come from Delhi. और ये बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन.
हाँ जी, वो दिल्ली बॉम्बे वाला तो मैं बिल्कुल एग्री नहीं करता, बट वो बाद में बात करेंगे. आप दिल्ली वाले को छेड़ रहे हैं आप. बट अभिषेक, I know everybody gets scolded for making observations and not asking questions, but I have to make a 10-second observation कि आपकी जो स्टेज प्रेजेंस है, so I see a very big actor in you. अभी आपने, और आपकी मैं डिस्कोग्राफी देख रहा था, तो अभी आपने बहुत आपका पोटेंशियल बहुत आगे है, और मैं एक लाइफ कोच भी हूँ, तो मैं उस एंगल से क्वालिफाइड स्टेटमेंट दे रहा हूँ आप.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच. दिल्ली वाले मुझे हमेशा पसंद आते हैं सर.
अरे सर, आप आइए, मिलिए, फिर बात भी करेंगे.
सुना नहीं सर, I didn't hear that.
So Abhishek, this journey going deeper into the point you were making earlier of balance and the question that was being asked, balance, imbalance. और आपने बोला when I'm any actor, and you spoke about yourself, when I'm acting I'm in a state of flow, फिर पूरे वर्ल्ड से डिस्कनेक्ट कर जाते हैं. So if you can just take us deeper into that thought, and maybe through a story, some experience, then we can just feel how you are feeling momentarily, anything that comes to your mind.
Yeah, I'll have to. There are. Okay, I'll talk about, I think, Patal Lok, because that was the most grueling experience for me, because I was playing a very dark character who is a serial killer who smashes heads of people. That's his signature style. When I was thinking about it, I think the first reaction for me was anger, right? I mean, that's how you would want to think of a character like that he must be very angry all the time, or must be very tough bodily to do all of that. But there was a point when I was thinking, I have this habit of I start to talk like my character sometimes. I start to think like my characters, and I talk to my friends like that.
उसके आगे तो नहीं जाते ना?
हाँ, नहीं, मतलब
वहीं तक है.
अरे सर, मैं सड़क पे भी हथौड़ा लेके जा नहीं सकता, लेकिन बट पॉइंट ये है कि इस कैरेक्टर के लिए मेरे पास कोई डायलॉग था नहीं, तो मैं कुछ ना रिहर्स कर पा रहा था, ना मैं इम्प्रोवाइज कर पा रहा था, क्योंकि वो कैरेक्टर वैसे भी अगर नॉर्मली घूमता तो कुछ नहीं बोलता. तो सब कुछ अंदर था, सब कुछ दिमाग में था, वो चल रहा था कॉन्स्टेंटली. एंड आई एम ट्राइंग टू रीच टू दिस गाय विशाल त्यागी, हु इज रियली फार अवे फ्रॉम मी, हु इज फ्रॉम माई ओन कंट्री, and who has been subjected to violence from his own family, who has been oppressed by the same society which I am living in. So for me to just go there, to इतनी छोटी सी डिस्टेंस मैं क्रॉस नहीं कर पा रहा था. बॉम्बे टू चित्रकूट, मुझे ये इंडिया में ही देखना था उस आदमी को, मुझे हिंदुस्तान में ही समझना था उस आदमी को, मुझे अपने ही आसपास के लोगों से उस आदमी की ज़िंदगी को समझना था, लेकिन मैं नहीं जा पा रहा था. एक सीन है उस फिल्म में, उस शो में, जहाँ पे हथौड़ा इज इन द जेल एंड देयर इज अ डॉग, एक कुत्ता आता है उस जेल में, और जेल के जो अदर जेलमेट्स हैं, इनमेट्स हैं, दे स्टार्ट अब्यूजिंग द डॉग. एंड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन द स्टोरी, व्हेन आई वाज रीडिंग इट एंड इन द शो, व्हेन यू सी इट, द फर्स्ट टाइम यू सी विशाल त्यागी reacting to a situation inside the jail. And you immediately know that he's intrigued by that dog. And he gets up. And for the first time in the entire story, he actually fights with others for kindness. So his heart is filled with kindness. But somehow it has been drained out by the very same society I am living in. That brought tears in my eyes. Because I could not fathom that, there's somebody is actually going through that pain. Because every time I do a character, I feel that अभी वो चल रही है, जिंदगियाँ चल रही हैं, अभी मुझे नहीं पता, पर होंगी, लोगों की होंगी ऐसी लाइफ. that is for me, like when I can travel, that journey for me to from my mind, my thoughts, to a journey to another human being's thought, which in turn becomes the character on screen. That journey is the spiritual connection between me and another human beings, and in that way with other human beings on planet also. So yeah, I mean, like for Jaffa, when I was playing an abused character, I didn't know who to go and ask, but I could feel the pain. I don't know how, but probably because I was feeling the pain of others who are going through the same situation. So मुझे लोगों से मिलता है. मैं अपने को मतलब I don't know how much experience I have, or how much knowledge I have, or how much wisdom I have, but I know that there are people who are going through various situations in their life, and if I can show even a little of their lives or their pain or their regrets or their happiness through my characters, I think I'm happy with my job. Thank you.
Thank you for answering. I think I have one question from Uday.
Hi, Abhishek.
Hello, how are you?
All well. Good to see you again. Sorry? Okay. Fantastic.
Torian.
Yes. Congratulations. I read that news also this morning about your film with Mr. Bachchan. तो
Thank you so
एक और अमिताभ अभिषेक की जोड़ी
जी
हम देखेंगे. But firstly, I have a quick question, and then I'll ask you my question. How old were you when you first came to Mumbai?
I was 23.
Okay. So, is there anything you would like to tell your 23-year-old self right now? Any advice? Anything you perhaps could have done different?
No, in fact, I am always, now every time I think about that, I am always surprised that how did I have that much courage at 23 to leave everything behind, to dream, firstly, to actually have the courage to dream, and then to realize that dream, leave your parents behind, come to a city which is so vast and so difficult for most, and to think and tell yourself that yes, one day you will be doing what you have come here to do. So that courage, I think I want to admire my younger self. I want to actually admire my younger self. I want to say thank you to him because of him I'm here. So there's nothing which I want. There's no regrets, no advice. I want advice from my younger self.
Thank you so much for the questions. Tanushree ma'am, you have a question. Yes.
Hi, Abhishek.
Hello.
What is your next dream now that you acted with Amitabh Bachchan? What's your next dream? Would you tell us about it?
Yes, probably in few years, some young actor writes the same thing which I wrote for him.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
I think
Beautiful. I like that. And thank you for being authentic. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, with that, I think I'll close the conversation here. Thank you, Abhishek, for joining us. I'll say this in Bangla. খুব ভালো লাগলো তোমার সাথে কথা বলে
আমারও খুব ভালো লাগলো. Thank you, Devika. Thank you, everyone who have organized this, and it's very important. I think it's
Absolutely. We are trying to bring that up. Thank you so much for being such a lovely audience. A big round of applause for Abhishek Banerjee, please. Shobha, over to you.